Fantastic. It's working. All right. Everyone that is in here, I just want to make sure you can hear me because they kind of screw me on that often. So just if you get a minute to type, hey, we can hear what you're saying. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thanks for the support and the people. This is for the hardcore people that really want this information and doing this work, that want some of my time, and I just want to focus on them because they're doing the most work. So I'm here for everyone, and hey, if you're not in the student forum, the classroom, you need to be. All right, a reminder there. We're Tonight's topic is about student loans. I'm going to get into that. I'm going to handle a little bit of information for the school that we're doing. Um, Scheduled loosely for August 1st. We're going to make some price and course adjustments, basically up, but we're going to turn the mentor program into just all individual courses and add a few courses. So, and um, any suggestions for topics that aren't covered, and you really need to focus and teach us this topic, how to do this right, or something like that. Anything I should focus on, let me know, please. I have a few I'm gonna do. From what people have asked me to do and focus on. So, in a way, it allow you to do things cheaper, somewhat. Because you can get the trust, and then you do this course and so on, and but we're also going to set a limit on being a student for a year, probably something like that. So, and I don't know if we're going to do all bundle in the courses together like we do now. So everyone get in before August 1st if you want the super deal of a lifetime, because we're going to change things. Um, just because we just want to, the kind of traditional school model of knowing what all the courses are and seeing what we have is more informative, because we have just a wealth of information after all these years. So, um, can you hear me? I mean, really, can anyone hear me? That'd be great if you could let me know. Um, anyway, so student loans is a topic, but um, and these live shows are going to be not going out to public at like one of them a month, but I think we're gonna kind of do more course focus work. We'll see how that goes. Um, anyway, that's a little bit of information on school changes coming up, and so I'm recommending people get in the McKeg Mastery thing and get everything we have now. This is the time to do it. Okay. Um, all right. Can anyone hear me? That would be great to know. Then we're going to get into the topic, unless anybody has something on their mind. Um, Again, thanks for the support. The people that are in here supporting this, ask the good questions, keep the work moving forward. Everyone in the classroom, that's great work in there too. Okay, so student loans is what they're doing the hype on. So just got on. I can hear you. Great, Mary. All right, thank you so much for that. I appreciate that, Mary. Yay, good to have you here. Okay, anything on your mind, Mary? Just please type it out. I'm here to help the people that are here, if I can be helpful. Okay, let's get into student loans. Okay, just because it's all the hype. Uh, so really, they were gonna make it so student loans could be gotten rid of, right? But you really don't ever have to pay student loans already right now. Okay, if and just what I'm going to talk about and everything I teach and everything, you have to get our trust of the school. If you don't do that, you can't do what I'm talking about. Period. Okay, so don't do any of the things I'm saying. They won't work for you. Okay, because we're talking about a hack, right? Um, I'm an accountant, right? And I'm just trying to teach people the way to save money, live the easiest life, and do the least amount of paperwork, get the government out of your life, like that, right? So that's what this is about, is how can we leverage, the student loan process in our favor, right? First of all, never pay, right? Uh, get the trust, right? Here's the hack. Get the trust, and your person, your straw man, it's not you. They say it's you, but it's not you. As if I have to go over that, I think people in here get that. Okay, well, I won't, belabor that. But that's not you. So, that thing with nothing, because you're operating a trust now and your person has nothing. Okay. That thing right there, what are they going to do? Crash the whole economy? You have to pay student loans. Man, it was just a way to stimulate the economy and get people money and what? Program them. You know what I mean? Like, this is true. This is true. This is true. All their BS, right? For me, I mean, I went to school for business. Like, oh, okay, you can teach me about business. I mean, not really, they told me a bunch of information. But I tell you what, going, we're talking about student loans, right? So you don't have to pay student loans. I'll get into that. As long as you have a trust, your person qualifies, because everything you're going to get, you can't get it in the name of a trust, student loan, right? You can only get it in the name of your person. So, and you just want their federal money, not the private loans. But there's so much federal money for student loans, it's ridiculous. You can really get any degree. You don't have to pay money. Obviously, you have to pay with your time. They have, like, if you pick a school that's, has a degree or one or whatever, and don't go for, the most tuition or whatever, but if you get low tuition, there's also federal money for your expenses per semester. So you just pay the lowest tuition, you get some money left over, and maybe do some side work, and you can get through school. For me, a school doesn't really have anything unless, you're going to get a license. I did not get the CPA license from the accounting because I got an MBA. I was trying to learn about business, and I didn't know as much as I do now, obviously. The whole business thing is it's just a joke. It's a lie. They are given all the businesses and, for free, and they operate them with low expenses. It's all figured out for them. We can't be in business like that, but we still have to make money and everything like that. So this is a way to, if there's a license, that a degree gets you, it can be useful for somebody who's like, oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, okay, you get a license after a certain amount of school. If you want to be a doctor, get a license, and then you can help a bunch of people, right? Because doctors are all evil now, because they're all like, they all went under with the jab, right? So how do you trust them? So, but it's a way you can go through all the hoops to be a doctor, a nurse, who, all the things in the medical health professional field that earn super much money. It's possible to go to school and not pay the school any money, and then the government will give you extra money on top of it. And then, you can qualify to pass the test to get a license to be a doctor. And you're not out any money. I'm just saying, like, it's possible, and all lawyers are evil, obviously, but you could do that and be one who isn't. You'd be unique. And so on, what I mean? There are different licenses out there. You want to be an engineer, you have to get a license to do that, and so on. All these professions that you have to go to school for, that you may have an interest in, and they make money. When we got to make money doing something, and everybody in here, I'll tell you what, is smart. So you could be anything you want to be, but yourself, what you have talent for and what you love to do and have a passion for and the reasons why. So you would know which school might make sense for you. I'm not saying school makes sense for everyone, but for certain people, makes a lot of sense. Makes economic sense, so they kind of carry you through the process financially, mostly, and then afterwards, you have this. You don't have this weight of a student loan. You know what I mean? Like anyone who doesn't know this information, oh yeah, you know, it's on your credit report, but you don't have to pay. You're always going to qualify not to pay because your person's not going to have anything. You use your trust, not your person. So it works all the time. It doesn't drag down your credit score either. Even if you had several $100,000, in student loans, you can get like about 800 or whatever. I've seen that. No problem. Credit score. What can't you do with that? I'm not kidding that much. And that's just, someone not a big earner, it's just like you just keep qualifying and qualifying graduate school and like I said, the whole nine. So it's a real avenue if you're in a situation where that could work for you, like if you're in a situation where there isn't that much money going out every month, you do have an interest in, being some profession. Well, okay, good. You could do it this way really easily. A lot of people come out of high school, go into college. I mean, even if you have someone doing that, you know what I mean? Hey, okay, he go to school, you'll figure it out. Okay, well, it doesn't cost you anything if they do it this way. It doesn't cost a penny. It doesn't cost them a penny either. You're not like, you're not evil because you didn't save enough for your children to go to college. No, no, they don't need any money. Neither do you. That's, they're giving away the programming now. It's so, bad. Nobody's buying it anymore. It's like, no, well, we're going to pay you to come get your programming now. It's like, how much value does that have? And, but that's why I'm not saying, oh, hey, college, woo. I mean, I've been to graduate school twice. So, mass MBA, master's, and this is when it wasn't online. So, and I did learn, if you're going to be in a field, you have to learn all the jargon and how things work and stuff like that if you have an interest in it. If you're going to help people in that field, you have to deeply learn all the lingo and the jargon and blah, blah, blah. You have to, or you're not really going to be a professional in that field. So people want to be like, oh, I want to be, well, how did you do all this, man? And it's like, well, I learned what they said is the right way and learned that was a lie. But I had the information of what the whole storyline is, and this is how what money does and all these situations. I know it all that what they taught. I know that. But then you have to figure out, okay, how can I really help people? Look for real results. If you're in the health professional, like wherever you get that license, you can take your passion into that to really seriously help people. If you're under this trust, like really, God's going to help you. So and I know we have different people in here of all ages. Actually, it's very interesting because there's some, and rare, but there's some really cool tight knit families doing this work of all age groups. Grandparents to grandchildren, and learning about all this information, and as they go and doing the paperwork and so on like that. So um this, it can be different people in different age groups is what I'm saying, who could use this information. If going to school and getting that, you know sheepskin, right? You're a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? I have knowledge and I got your license, so let me in the door. You know what I mean? Like, you're in. So you could really help people then. you know if you could get into a jail and and tell people the way it is and everything. I mean, could really help people for real. Um, you know, it's just I've seen certain people like me. I'm just like, oh, I just went out. Let me get your money. I'll take you to court. Like I just went off on them. But not everyone's like that, and it's like I'm a, my angst is definitely once I found out the whole storyline, like stabilized, shall we say, somewhat. Uh, so you can get in there and do something useful for yourself, your family, for others in a certain field of profession. Whatever you're. Oh, I'm going to choose to work in this. Everybody kind of has an interest. I know. We have like teenage students, not in their 20s yet, doing this knowledge and taking it into their course of action every day, you know, and they're really intelligent, so taking the truth into the situation, knowing that, oh, I just need to pass these classes, learn the jargon, learn what you mean and stuff like that, and then get your license, and I can apply this in what I'm already interested in, you know? If you're already interested in computers and electronics and all that, and you're crazy into it, and you're like 16, 17, like you just can't, you know what I mean? Like learning more about that technical aspect, that's already what you're doing all day. You're into it, so you could really learn it, get a license, and then set up shop, be a professional, and do what you think is cool to do every day, whatever that may be. And that sheepskin can be helpful. I mean, honestly, do have an MBA. I do have a, master's in accounting too. Like, to learn the system is to understand more the veil, the cloak, that you kind of have to fight through. But I can't see them. I know they're going to make things worse here for a minute. I get that, and they're going to keep that up. But, I think the reason that people stick with me is I'm always got a new loophole. You know what I mean? Like the basics that we work off of with this trust, they're always going to make a loophole. And if they don't, they're going to really shoot themselves in the foot. They're always going to want to hold this, debt. And here's the thing. This is, you know, who's going to pay back? Literally, I mean, this is their story anyway. $33 trillion now, their credit card, and they're like, oh, let's pretend to fight about it, and then let's bump it up. What we have a credit card for the world, right? For everyone, every currency is tied to the dollar. So it's like, hey, you know, you see, they don't create dollars unless somebody goes and asks for a loan. So it's keeping the economy going. The schools are open, they get tuition, people get extra money, they go buy food, so, cheap food so they can be in college, like I'm talking about, or graduate school or whatever, to get this license, etc., right? All that keeps the economy going. So here's what they do, and you can see it, like, this is a debt-based economy. So you have to, oh, can I get a loan? And then you can't pay back, obviously, and they know that. So they make rule changes. That's it. This is accounting rules. You see what I'm saying? Like, how are you going to report as the federal government, and not mess up your books and make it look like a loss? You just make a special rule that, hey, student loans are going to go over here on the balance sheet, and they're not actually going to be a problem because we're going to make a special rule that says, I don't know, why don't the Treasury buy them or something? They just make up the stupid rule where it just doesn't count. And that's what they're going to have to keep on doing for anyone that has this trust. Anyway, your person doesn't have anything. So it's like they got to qualify those people. They've got so many homeless people. And, everyone's getting foreclosed on here now, like coming up, you know? Uh, so what are they going to go for student loans when people can't pay their mortgages? They know they're not going to get the money. So they have to do a rule change to make it look like it's not that bad, you know? Like, why would we pay, you know, money to go to a school? You're supposed to be managing the public schools, and you can't even, with all the resources we give you from all the states and all the natural resources, like gas, the oil, the minerals, and everything you sold that was from our country, you couldn't have colleges that were free. Well, they do. This is how you do it. They are for free, and they can pay you. Obviously, it's a bunch of made up nonsense, but if it gets you a license, some technical things are useful information. Like if you're trying to be in the financial field, you got to, like I am, you have to learn, the jargon, the techniques. Like, what do you mean when somebody says that? Oh, this is that, How do you do a spreadsheet? What are all these things? And you can focus on a certain area of your interest. So I'm just saying not everybody should be financial expert or whatever like me, but whatever it is for you, why not be an expert? You know what I mean? We're supposed to love your brothers and sisters. That means doing your best for yourself and for others and for your family. I know it's not easy, to fit in, you know, higher education or whatever. But if it was focused and you were doing it online and, with this degree, you can take this test and, you know, do work you're already doing, but get paid more and be more of an expert and help more people. I see that as something I'd done. And, obviously they were programming with me with a bunch of BS, but it did turn out that I can help people knowing all that stuff, And I was like, oh, okay, that's all a dead end. That's all a bunch of BS. Like I went out there in businesses, like, got just crushed after what they told me. It's like, okay, you're absolutely lying about everything. But they have certain jargon and so on you have to know. Like, it's all programming. It's like, well, but if you don't have English, you go to school or, outside of school, you learn English, they can communicate, So if you learn accounting, you can communicate with other accountants, communicate with other businesses. I always felt like if I'm trying to learn about money and like what's going on, because to me it was like, I already had an interest in it, but I was like, what's going on? This doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I felt like an idiot because it's like this totally makes no sense to me. It makes, and I'm good with numbers. Like it doesn't make any sense, the whole thing, you know. And I was like, well, let me, because I was like, I learned in business. Like, well, okay, that's MBA. I was like, nah, some of it might be useful, kind of. And I was like, and accounting just didn't make sense to me, And I was like, okay, then let me learn more about what is hard for me to learn in business, accounting. That's why I got my master's in accounting, because I was like, I don't understand this. And I got through it. I'm like, this is just a bunch of made up rules, to do basically pretty evil stuff. I mean? Like that's accounting, is how do I, it's like, where did you get all what? You know, the trail of money, and then it just made more no sense to me. I was like, okay, something's going on here. But only when you propel yourself into that, deep research into some field that you focus on, do you become an expert and can you really help people, you know? So they're going to have to continue to do this, is what I'm saying, and they're going to just make it easier and easier to get this money and not pay it back. Both, because they need to give out more debt. They need to keep the universities open and those people working and people in school and learn your programming and get into the workforce and do what you're told and have a student loan and have to grind all day every day. That's the way we like you, hipster, in your wheel. That's the way they like their slaves, you know, just always too busy, can't pay your bills or sell your soul, It's like that's why people do it, because it's impossible. unless you have the hacks that I teach, right? And so one of them is, well, okay, you can go look up like how much do radiologists make or lawyers. And it's like, whoa, that many $100,000 every freaking year? What? You know what I mean? If it's something you're already interested in, you can help people, and get paid. And they'll pay you to, go through the entire process. Really, you got to pay for, taking the license tests and stuff, but they're usually not that expensive. Um, and you just got to pass. You got to learn your stuff and pass. I know everyone's smart in here, so I know everyone in here could do that. So, but as far as paying, nah. Anyone that's got the trust, you don't have to pay. Where you're always going to qualify. How to do that is in the mentor program. Well, like I said, August 1st or around then, we're going to be breaking out these courses individually, so that if you need that information, you get the trust, so get that individual course. Oh, okay. How to not pay on student loans? Yes, but it's they're always going to have a way as long as you have the trust. You know what I mean? Because of course they're squeezing everybody. That's just their thing. It's just how they have control is like, we're half dead on a hamster wheel, just never able to get, really live your life practically, trying to pay the bills. Especially we're, getting near end time, so it's like, the squeeze is on. So I really, wanted to talk about those main things about student loans because I've seen a lot of news on it, and I know these the videos that we're doing now are going to continue to go out to the public, but I think we're going to might do more coursework focus, so they might not anymore. They just might go to members in here. This real talk stuff. Um. Anyway, I know I have incredibly smart people in here that could do coursework and stuff like that, and to do it with the right mindset, you could really learn maybe what not just what they're trying to teach you, but really also what kind of is in the hidden right in front of you information too. So, but they'll just keep with the rule changes, and that's what they've done. What do they call it? Quantitative easing. It's like you're, because again, if someone isn't, asking for debt, there's no money in the economy, and the economy shrinks, it slows down. So what was happening was the stock market was starting to, the cash, we're nearing the end of a Ponzi scheme. So, and they just give you the principal, they don't give you the money to pay the interest, so they have a 0%, and then they give away money that you don't have to pay back, right? Recently, during their whole fake plague thing, obviously they're going to have to do something like that again, or boom, and so they're going to need to write some rules to put this, like I was going to say, quantitative easing. It was like, well, the stock market's going down, so let's do quantitative easing. Well, what's that? That's where, the treasury, the place that creates money, buys stocks. Oh, stock prices. Well, let's just have the government buy them all and put them on their balance sheet. And mortgages and all this. All the securities are, mortgage-backed securities. Everything is going to go foreclosure. Like, how much are they worth? Oh, we'll buy them ourselves then, and everything's rosy. And we'll make a rule, and we'll put this, stuff that we bought on a balance sheet over here that's not on our balance sheet, and it's not on your balance sheet. That's what's going to happen with coming up with commercial real estate. What's happening is, and it's the natural outcome of the fake plague thing, is people aren't in them buildings anymore, the commercial buildings, not as much, like stores just doesn't have much foot traffic. People are clicking away. They got people to be, oh, hey, get these services at home, like, get food delivered, everything. It's crazy convenient. Once you get used to some app, you're like, oh well, just send me, deliver my food. It saves you time and energy and so on. So it's like, oh, okay, that's cool. That makes sense. Well, what happened to the commercial buildings? They're not being used as much. A lot of vacancies everywhere. Vacancies going through the roof. And the people aren't like, nah, it's cool. I'd rather chill at my place and I'll work online some and have my groceries delivered and, smoke during the day and hang out with my cat or whatever. I don't really want to go to work. They'll figure out some new operation where they work online or whatever, do something else that isn't being in a building every day. Once the, in indoor workers got released from this stuff they come up with, this fake plague, it's like, well, you know, didn't you let us out of prison? We don't actually want to go back inside. And so now they got all this vacant real estate. And that's, you know, everything was on this, 0%, give me all the money you got, come on. Not you and me, but the commercial real estate. If you're in that field, they were like, well, just load me up, 0%. Hey, great. And they would just get as much money and, pay themselves out as owners and just, so they have all these expenses, including their loans, whatever, not that much interest, but plenty of principal, and all your tenants are leaving. So you're like, you can't cover your bills. Well, you don't get that level of money, and like your personal, uh, it's not a personal loan, it's off of the business. So it's not going to affect you personally if you don't have to spend the money on it. You know what I mean? Like, okay, that value, of money coming in every month, I'm never going to make that wide margin. No one's renting the space for so many months. How much money are you losing every month? First it was a couple thousand, and it's 10,000, and it's like 100,000, and it's like, depending on how deep you're in this thing, if the building isn't making money, well, you're not personally guaranteeing. It's like, well, here you go, bank, here's the keys, we're out. Which makes a great opportunity if you're into my other work over there on JesusChristTrust.net, which I'm bringing up, how to get real estate for free and stuff. So, this is an opportunity. Of course, this is, but again, the banks are going to fail from all this. It's like, no, they're not. They're just going to make a rule change where, the Fed, Treasury, they'll buy some stuff, and until then, just put this over on your balance sheet. We'll make a new rule where, that'll go over there in the long term where it doesn't really count on your, they just make a rule change, an accounting rule change. That's all they do. And, they're all in on it. So the government's like, well, we'll put it on our balance sheet. They're stealing everything. We'll just own your property. How about that? You could give it to us, the government. We'll pay you money that we make on the spot. And now it's what? Oh, it's ours. Yeah. Or it's the banks. They're just stealing everything. And they're like, well, you shouldn't have signed if you can't pay. It's like, weren't you supposed to sign, right? What? Don't we not owe you because you didn't sign? Because if you're the only, I owe a loan, do you really? Because, got to be two parties that sign. There's no contract. So they never sign. So actually, all debt is collected illegally. So no one owes them a single penny ever. So it's just about how to keep that place, how to keep that real estate, which is a technology I'm unleashing over on this other website, right? Yeah, working too. JesusChristTrust.net. I got to work under a church banner to be able to speak about certain things and not have it taken down. So if you're into that, I'm over that. Okay. but that's what's going on. Where they're raising interest rates. Okay? You're raising interest rates. We were at 0%, and we weren't. We were only paying because you gave us forgivable loans, PPP, IDL, whatever. We're not paying them back, not a penny. No student loans, none of that stuff. You better come up with some more helicopter money. That's what has to happen, obviously, or everyone's, going to drive up their credit cards to the last penny and be like, click, all right, take it later, and then no one's going to have enough money to pay for stuff. And so, all asset prices are going to go down, house prices, car prices, anything of any value is just going to go down in value. You know what I mean? Deflation. It's already starting. They're like, oh, we want to stop inflation. That's actually deflation. If you're stopping it, that's deflation. So it's like, well, how much of a nosedive do you want this thing to take? And the banker's like, well, we want to kind of take everything because that's in our nature, but we're going to take a whole bunch and then probably some extra because we can't stop ourselves. And then, we'll just pretty much screw you over pretty bad. That's them. Up, down, whatever. Unless, because it's really this, if they don't do something, it's going to get really out of hand. And I don't, some other countries are not liking what happens when, they don't have as much helicopter money. Like, when there's no food on the table, I don't know why they march in the streets like the banks are doing it. Why don't you march down there? Give them, a piece of what they deserve. Pitchforks and torches. You know what I mean? Frankenstein. Hey, send out the monster right now. I don't know. I don't know why they're marching in the street. It's so funny. March down to the bank. Send out Frankenstein now. Anyway, nothing on your mind, people? Really? Okay. I just wanted to touch on this. This one's going to go out, eventually as a public video, and I know a lot of people have this on their mind. Already getting short squeezed on money, so it's like, well, don't pay those student loans. Turn it around, get the money, get the training, and get a license, and get out there and help people. If I was a public accountant, if I had gotten a license, I couldn't give out this information. You know what I mean? But I couldn't because I'd be holding to a different set of rules. So you may get the license and then, maybe, later you're like, well, I'm in this area because whatever. But, you got to start with that license to really get to everyone and be able to help everyone. So I recommend it. Okay. What else we got here? Gonna have some good new courses, I was saying. If you have any suggestions on, hey, this would be a great, because, honestly, my work is, I don't know, miracles, right? Hey, you have to pay taxes. No. So that's a miracle, right? It did what you say can't be done, etc. So, if you need a miracle every day, if you need one, which one? Like, what do we need? Anyway, there are going to be a whole bunch of courses coming out, individualized, not in the mentor program like it is now. And if I'm missing something, and I really need to focus on something, I would love to hear it, because my goal is just to help you all with the info. The truth sets you free. The more truth you have, the less they have control of you. Right? Okay. What else we got going on here? Oh boy, that's good stuff. You should if you haven't seen my proof video of, I just put up over on JesusChristTrust.net. Speaking of new courses, I just put up foreclosure success course. And I mean, this has been 100% successful for 5 years for everyone. I mean, absolutely everyone in every state in the US, and it would work in any country. So, and it's really affordable, and donation just helps me continue this work, over there at the church, to really cutting edge technology I do over there. So, you know, a donation for that information, yeah, you could help anyone in foreclosure. Oh yeah, the place doesn't get seized, so, and this is how you make it never get seized, and you stay in there, whatever, and everything's cool, no matter what their paperwork says. So, that's up in case that interests anyone over there. And that, any help, any support, and you all have been helpful and supportive. I really appreciate it. I just, do the best I can with, because I only exist on donations and when I pick from the, off of them, right? Like a mosquito on them. What else you got? Give me some more. Because that's the way, once you get wise to the system, and basically make it so you're taking from the system and you're not giving in to the control system, that's the way you bring it down. When, and you're not upset, you're not riding the streets, you're like, oh, built my credit, taking everything I can get, and you pass, oh no, I got the degree and everything. What? I got the sheep's clothing, man. I got my sheepskin. I walk anywhere and do anything. I mean, lawyers can go into prisons, go anywhere, anywhere, go anywhere. Amazing. Doctors too. Just go. I'm a doctor. Oh, okay, dude, come on. Hey, no, here it is. Whatever. And so can many other professionals. Oh, I'm an engineer. I'm needed in there, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, come on. Etc. So, okay. I don't know if anyone else has something on their mind that maybe I brought up that they're working on or something like that. I'm got just a list of videos I'll be coming out with new information and stuff. So, guardian angels, right? If they're your right, if it's a guard, aren't you in prison? Aren't guards for prisoners? Oh, are they really good? Are they good? Things like that. But anyway, okay. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for supporting the work. I know we're in the kind of like the doldrums of, it's hot. Kids need everything. Worn out from playing with them and this whole game and what's going on, right? Anyway, but with this knowledge, spend the time with family, and it's a nice time of year. I don't know how people live up north. You can go out in the warmth. I'm still out. It's at our hottest here, 93. It's like the hottest day of the year here. All right. Good stuff in the forum that people have been posting in the classroom. Thanks for doing that. We got a lot of people doing a lot of good things. I hope you've seen that video they come up over there on a church. Mary, you did some real good work in there, and DNet's, testimonials wicked. If you haven't seen it, wicked good, as they say up north. Wicked good. It's really great. Not wicked at all. Okay. No questions. All right, everybody's doing good. I don't want to ramble on because I want to make the best use of your time and my time. If things are going well, I'm happy to hear that. I'll be doing different topics, kind of like more focused on what the actual courses we're doing on, like tonight, and talking about student loans and, the actual courses that we have and, what's behind them and the details of that, so that I know you're doing this work. I want to support it, help you by talking about it. All right. Okay. Um, if no one has anything, I think I covered the topic, and I guess we'll do it next week. I'll see you at 7 p.m. Nothing? Nobody? All right. Well, have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Thursday, 7 p.m. I haven't decided what the topic is. If you come up with something, right on this video or right on a video. But I will come up with it soon. Look for what's going to be up in the live stream. Okay, people. Have a great week.